Hey, Joe and Mary. Hey, guys. Can you guys hear me all right? Awesome. Well, how's the day been? How are y'all? Good. I'm all right myself. Thank you. Just real quick, do you have a pen and paper with you? If not, you can go ahead and grab one. Just let me know when you guys are ready and we can get started. All right? Awesome. Well, Joe and Mary, to reintroduce myself, my name is Ryan Jackson. I'm with American Income, and I'm a member of the Office and Professional Employees International Union Local 277. Joe, I'm going to pull up your card that you filled out and returned, and also show you the letter that came with it. Do you remember seeing this right here? Great, Joe. Do you remember, or did you go to the meeting by chance where they talked about the benefits? Awesome, great. Well, that is exactly why I'm here. As I mentioned on the phone, your union had set up some things for you. So today, my job is pretty simple. It's just to serve you and go over your no cost benefits, and most importantly, see if you can qualify for the additional permanent benefit options made available. Does that make sense, guys? Awesome. And I know you guys are very busy, so you probably don't mind if I gave you the quick version, right? Awesome. All right, let's get into it. So not only do we take care of your union, but for the last 70 years, we've been approved to work through over 20,000 labor unions, credit unions, and as well as associations like firefighters, police officers, veteran groups, and teachers. And so, along with that, we're also the only company that has a labor advisory board with over 40 international union presidents, which advises us on what the members still need both locally and nationally. Almost everyone gets benefits through work, right? But when you leave your job, change careers, or even retire, do you know what happens to those benefits? That's right. A lot of times they go away or they're reduced a pretty significant amount. And typically, that's not very fair to you. And so, with the help of the Labor Advisory Board, they created an amazing program and all the members love it. Hopefully, you can qualify for everything. But Joe and Mary, all that I ask is that you guys stop me if you have any questions. All right, guys, sound good? Awesome. Let's get into it. Perfect. And while I get this set up, just a few questions. How long have you guys been in the group for? Really awesome. That's incredible. How did you get into that line of work, Joe? And Mary, what do you do for work? Love it. How did you get into that? Yeah, Joe, what did your parents do for a living? Love to hear it. Yeah, I've been blessed to have grown up the beginning of my life with two really hardworking parents who really did anything they could to give me a stable home life. Just come from a family with good values and good ethics, and it's good to see that you two are really true hard workers, and I can see that a lot. So that's really awesome, guys. Is there, Joe, anything you would like me to report back to the union, good or bad? We never mention any names if there's any tips that you would like to give. No, they're taking care of you pretty well. Awesome. Great. Well, let's move on. So first off, this is your first no cost benefit, the AIL Plus card. So all the members have been so excited that this was set up for them. Just Joe, how's your group insurance? Okay. This is one of the biggest reasons that they set this up because, as you know, that coverage can change when anytime, right? Yeah. Uh, so, Joe and Mary, do either one of you wear glasses, contacts? Okay. Is that genetic? Do anyone else in your family take prescriptions, wear glasses, or any of that? Okay, awesome. So this benefit, this AIO Plus card, is designed to help lower your out-of-pocket expenses, and it will not affect your existing health coverage. And it works alongside it, which is really great. You can receive discounts up to 85% off vision care, prescription drugs, hearing aids, chiropractics. It even includes discounts on pet meds too, which is pretty unique. But out of those three to four, which ones would you guys say you spend the most money on? Gotcha, gotcha. So with this program, we've seen members save over $300 on glasses and at least over $1,000 a year on prescriptions. And most of the members who use this program are saving anywhere from 80 to $120 a month, depending on what they use. And all the members love it. And I mean, I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind saving the extra money, right, Joe? Right, Mary? Exactly. So next time you go to get your prescriptions, all you have to do is you show them that AIL Plus card, and then you show them your regular health insurance, and you literally just use whichever one saves you the most money. It's that simple. Does that make sense, guys? Awesome, sweet. So this next part is an epidemic that deals with our children. It's pretty serious. I'm sure. Do you guys have children? Yeah, you guys have children. I'm sure you know families with children, right? The point is that everybody knows someone, and we partnered with the Fraternal Order of Police because, believe it or not, every 30 seconds in America, a child is abducted, and if they're not found within the first 24 hours, 93% of them never come home. It, that hurts. I'm just gonna be honest. And as you can see on the application up here towards the top of the screen, um, you put an updated photo right on the front with the date the picture was taken, your child's age. You got 4 different sections. You got some personal info like height, weight, hair color, physical description for section 2, common DNA sample, typically a hair sample. And then section 4 would be fingerprints of all 10 fingers. And then after that, you're done and you tuck it away, and you just, God forbid, that the kids don't get off the school bus one day. But you have all their information ready to go for the police. Normally, it takes about 8 to 12 hours for an Amber Alert to get issued. This kit drops out under to 1 hour. And again, being endorsed by the international police unions, our goal is to blanket the community with these child safe kits. Joe and Mary, I'm sure you guys would agree that if we got out to 1,000 families and all it did was save one child, that's worth it, right? Yeah. Just some pretty serious stuff, but really good to take advantage of just for the safety of your kids and for all kids. So here is the accidental death and dismemberment benefit that your letter talked about, Joe. Did you ever get a chance to read over this? Okay, so Joe, this is a living benefit that's going to pay you $1,500 for the loss of a hand, a foot, or sight in one eye due to an accident, and double that amount for the loss of any two, of course, due to an accident as well. So Joe, for you, this is a death benefit that would pay Mary that full $3,000 should you die as a result of an accident, God forbid. But now the union and group knows that $3,000 doesn't seem like all the money in the world. But if you died, your paycheck would die with you, obviously. And I'm sure that, I mean, that would put a major crunch in your family's budget, right, Mary? Joe? Yeah, exactly. So Joe, just so to reconfirm, you said that you wanted Mary to be your beneficiary, correct? Okay, awesome. So when something happens, you're going to need our local office number. So if you go ahead and grab your cell phone, we can put it in there, or you can write it down. Okay, you ready? All right, so the number is 1-800-686-0042. Got that? All right, thanks, Joe. So while you have your phone out, one thing I have to get is 2 contingent beneficiaries. And this is basically just in case the both of you die in a common accident, there would be someone else in line to receive those benefits. This person should be over the age of 18 and, recommend that they're pretty responsible. All right, you ready? Who'd be your first? Okay. Can I get their first and last name? Okay, and then a good phone number to get a hold of them when something happens to you. Okay, and then their city and state. Awesome. All right, and then for our second, we're gonna do the same thing. Great, first and last name. Awesome, and then that good phone number. Great, and then city and state. Awesome. All right, Joe. So one of the things we always do is proactively go over the claim forms with them, those contingent beneficiaries, real briefly, just to make sure that they know who to call and what the claim form looks like in the event that something happens. Um, and I don't want to blindside them. So if it would help you, I can send a text to you that you can copy and paste to them. Sound good? Okay. So John, I'm going to send you that text right now so you can send it to him. Um, send it right now. And can you let me know when you get it? Got it. Awesome. All right, Joe, can you go ahead and send that text to them real quick and then just let me know when it's done? Give you a little bit of time to do that. Great. Thank you, Joe. Awesome. All right. So for years, these benefits that you just received, the AIL Plus card, the Child Safe Kit, and the accidental policy were only ever made available to members of exclusive groups we work with. So like the police officers, the firefighters, and veterans groups, and a few more. Finally, the company is allowing you to extend these same benefits to people who are close to you. Now, the good part is it's at no cost to you and it's at no cost to them. But it's super important to take advantage of this because we don't know how long they'll allow you to do this. It's typically temporary. Unfortunately, you cannot extend these benefits to everyone, but they will allow you to sponsor up to 10 people. So just don't prejudge because even if they have good benefits, these will always still help them no matter what. Uh, Most people start with people closest to them or their contingent beneficiaries. So you want to start with them? We'll put your first contingent beneficiary down. I just want to verify that information real quick, just one more time. Their first and last name. Yes. And their phone number to get a hold of them, and then that city and state. Awesome. And then we'll do the same for the second one. Good. Good. Okay. You also mentioned that your father had prescription drugs and glasses and contacts. We can put him in there as well. What's their name? Awesome. In that city and state. And then are they married? Have a spouse, single? Awesome. And then what does he do for work? Great. And then let's get that phone number to be able to verify him. Awesome. Thanks, Joe. All right, perfect. Who's next? Keep going down the list. Awesome. Thank you, Joe. And hey, if you please just do me a quick favor, I'm going to send you a text. And if you would go ahead and forward this text to each one of those people that we just wrote down, just letting them know that you pass these benefits along to them. Just want to make sure they know that I'll be giving them a quick call probably between 1 and 3 p.m. tomorrow to get this out to them. And I just don't want to blindside anyone. So this just gives them a heads up. I mean, when someone receives a call that from a number they don't know, that you usually don't answer. So just giving them a heads up to know that I'm coming. Again, I'm going to send it. Let me know when you got it, please. And I'm going to finish some things up on my end, just with paperwork. But go ahead and forward those on. Let me know when that's done. Thanks, Joe. Good. Sweet. Now, Joe and Mary, let's move on to the most important part, which are the exclusive benefits for members like yourself. The program they set up was designed to be member owned and member controlled. And unlike any group benefits, these are also permanent and portable, which means they go wherever you go. They cover what you do not already have. Does that make sense? Good. All right. Joe and Mary, they come with a layoff and a strike waiver. So if you're laid off or go on strike, any premium payments are waived for up to 3 months for that layoff or 12 months for that strike. So just an extra layer of security for if those things ever happen, which is something to take advantage of for sure. Okay. So now, Joe, these benefits are by far the most important and they're the most popular with all of the members. Unfortunately, you do have to qualify. So I have to ask you a few questions just to see where you're at. Some family health questions. Okay. Have you ever been diagnosed with cancer? Any tobacco or nicotine use? Okay. Has anyone been hospitalized in the last 12 months? All right. And your height and your weight? Does anyone take prescribed medications? If so, what? And then lastly, any arrests or DUIs in the last 5 years? Okay, great. And Joe, when they set this program up, they made it to be around an hour's wage. And so with that being said, what would you say is your monthly take-home pay after taxes? Great. So you make around X dollars an hour. All right, hey, no worries. I'll keep it up to that wage, since that's actually what you take home. And then, Joe, do you know how much life insurance that you have through work? Okay, great. So they typically start you guys with around 20 to 30,000. Did you opt in for extra? Okay, great. Again, this is one of the biggest reasons they set this up, since those amounts can be lost, reduced, or negotiated out at any point in time. So it's just important, that's why that's set up. Okay, so now when they set the program up, it was designed that no matter if you had $1 of coverage or $1 million of coverage, I'm sure you guys have some life insurance outside of work, right? Or not yet? Okay, I imagine you are like a lot of the members and got that to take care of like any outstanding debt, maybe the mortgage, something like that. Okay, awesome. Do you guys use a credit union or a traditional bank? It's like Chase, PNC, Bank of America. Great. Thank you, Joe. So before I go any further, I have this mandatory read off letter for you. It basically explains the enrollment process. What it's basically saying is that if, as I'm going through the benefits, thinking, wow, like these are some great benefits, and I can see why all the other members are enrolling, then we should go ahead and apply for the full program today. But on the flip side, if I'm going through these benefits and I'm thinking to myself, these are some great benefits, but not all of them fit the needs for me and my family right now, then we'll just get you enrolled into the ones that do and take it that way. Either way, some or all, that decision does have to be made today during your enrollment period, just so that it's fair to all the other union members waiting to enroll. It's the same way health insurance works. We got that, guys? Awesome. Thanks, Joe and Mary. The good thing about these benefits is that they are pretty much a no-brainer. So, Joe, you're definitely going to know one way or another what you want to do. You and me? Great. The last thing they wanted to happen is for me to go through all these benefits, and you look at me and say something silly like, you want to think about it. So it's important that you listen and ask questions. Joe and Mary, just will you please promise me that you'll stop me if you have any questions? Awesome. Perfect. All right, let's get into these permanent benefits. So the first concern has to do with an all too common problem that no one seems to have a solution for, and that's cancer. Guys, I'm sure you've known someone, whether it was a relative, a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, just you've known someone who's had cancer before, right? If you don't mind me asking, who were they to you? Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that, Mary. My aunt passed away of breast cancer, and um, she was just a phenomenal woman, and it's hard stuff. So I get you. I've been there. Um, just seen a lot of it, and so it's definitely not great. No doubt, everyone we talk to knows someone, but it's still important to be talked about and covered. And then battling cancer is not only costly, like physically and emotionally, but cancer also leaves families just financially devastated. I mean, the facts are cancer is one of the leading causes of bankruptcy. There's over 1.9 million cancer diagnoses every year. That's 609,000 deaths a year from cancer, over 1,600 deaths a day. And families spend on average $42,000 in first year out of pocket expenses for treatment. That's draining. The thing is that most people have pretty good medical coverage, in fact. But if you were to get cancer today, probably 80 to 90% of your medical bills would be paid. However, the tragedy is that only about 50% of costs related to having cancer are actually medical bills. You see, if you're battling cancer, Joe, typically you're going to have lost wages. You're going to have experimental drugs, special diets, copays, deductibles, and just all the types of things that aren't covered under your current health insurance, right? Exactly. So what they did to set you up with three different options to make this claim upon the first diagnosis of cancer. First, you're starting off at bronze, and that's a $25,000 cancer benefit. You move to silver, you're up to $50,000. And then gold is that full $100,000 cancer benefit. Now, Joe, this is a scheduled benefit plan, meaning the money is paid out to you tax free. Pretty awesome. So, whenever you have various procedures versus paying the doctors or hospitals like your health insurance would, does that make sense? Great. This is important as you still have your monthly obligations, even though you're battling cancer, but like your house payment, your car payment, and other payments feeding the kids. But this is a $25,000 to $100,000 benefit per family member, which is huge. And cancer, let's be honest, it doesn't care if you have good health insurance. It doesn't care if you have existing life insurance, money in the bank, or no family history. Could you really imagine adding $3,500 or more per month to your expenses? That's a lot, Joe. That's a lot, Mary. It's a lot. So I'm sure you can see why having this set up upon the first diagnosis of cancer would be beneficial, right? Why would you say that? Mary, why would you say it's beneficial? Exactly. It's good to have that security, and 100% I agree. Joe, I imagine that when you die, Mary would be uh, the one that would handle the problem of the funeral, correct? Yes. So, Mary, do you know what the average cost of a funeral is these days? That's right. It's around 15,000 to $20,000. Have you ever had to deal with a funeral? I pray to God that you haven't. Okay. And when do you think that the funeral director wants his money, Mary? Exactly. Normally, the funeral home wants about 50% of the balance up front and then the remaining balance within 30 days or a month. And life insurance, especially stuff through work, can by law take about 6 months to pay out. And that is just not practical. And most members don't kind of have that money lying around. And even if you did, it wasn't set out in the first place for a funeral, was it? Exactly. And so, what was set up for these members is the Freedom of Choice Funeral Benefit Plan. And this is what our police officers, firefighters, and teachers use. And just, Joe and Mary, listen to how simple this is. When Joe dies, sickness or accident, simply, Mary, you just take your certificate to the funeral home, and most, if not everything, will be taken care of, such as the services, casket, headstone, cremation, almost everything. It's basically like a blank check. And so this FOC has been broken down into three categories: gold, silver, and bronze. The gold is going to be $60,000. The silver is going to be $35,000, and the bronze is going to be $20,000. And so now I wouldn't advise you to go into the funeral home and tell the funeral director what it's worth. Because if you do, guess how much funeral is probably going to cost? Exactly the amount of the benefit. So, Mary, what instead you do is you go in and you negotiate your best deal, like a good negotiator, because that money that's left over goes straight back to you, and the funeral home doesn't even know about it. So, at the end of the day, like, who do you want to be in control? The funeral home or you and your family? You and your family, right? So, Joe, the freedom of choice puts you in a control. That way, you get the best deal and you keep things simple, and it's easy to use and it's super low risk. That makes sense? Awesome, guys. And so I'm sure you can see how having this set up would make a hard time a lot easier on your family, right? But I'm not gonna lie, you guys are pretty young, and we probably aren't thinking about dying in the next 10 years, right? We typically think, why do we need this? When members realize that you could actually make money on this, they loved it. Do you guys have anything set up for retirement, Joe and Mary? Okay, so a portion of this is actually going to build a cash value retirement fund. So, worst case scenario, you pass away before retirement. Mary is going to be guaranteed that full FOC amount. But the best case scenario is you make it to retirement and you don't need that X amount of coverage anymore. So, what you get is you can just take that cash value that was built up in it, and that's yours. Can you guys see why they set this up? Does that make sense on how this is going to work? Like while you're alive, and then, of course, when you pass? Awesome. Great. Now, Joe, if you die tomorrow, what happens to your paycheck? What's that? Yeah, it dies with you. But unlike your current group benefits, this next benefit will keep Joe's paycheck coming into the home as if he was still around and working. And let me tell you, Mary, this is typically the spouse's favorite benefit. I mean, it's paycheck that's coming in. It's real good. But Mary, you're going to receive tax-free checks for the amount of a full time. So for bronze, it's going to be $2,000 a month for that year. Silver, $4,000 a month for that year, and then gold, $6,000 a month for that year. This is going to buy you time in the event that this happens, and it's just going to give you a chance to breathe, figure out what you're going to do moving forward with your job, with your life, and most importantly, with the family, with the kids. Uh, Mary, just curious, what else would it allow you to do? See why she's saying that, Joe? Yeah, why is that? Mary, I'm sure you can see why I set this up for you, though, right? Awesome. It's a great benefit, important to take advantage of. Okay, so besides their income, the next thing that people want to protect is either like their mortgage or their debt, loans, etc. So if you were to die during your working years, Joe, what if you were to die during your working years, what would it be to most likely? Right, an accident. So what they set up was a benefit of a certain amount that would pay off either the mortgage or your debt or loan in the event that you were to die in an accident. And Mary, I'm sure you can see why they set this up. So you I mean if Joe dies and this benefit's in place, you don't have to worry about paying off the rest of the mortgage on your own or the loan that he had or anything that he left behind debt wise. Um, it's just another very good benefit to take advantage of. Okay, so this next major benefit is for the kids. Current job benefits usually don't have anything here, so this is a pretty good deal. Included is a $10,000 life insurance plan for each of your kids. They have to be 18 and younger, and this is going to cover them until they turn 21. So, and at age 21, they're going to have a guarantee that they could get their own life policy on themselves for 5 times this current policy. So for about $50,000. And let's be honest, they're definitely going to thank you for setting this up. Have you guys ever heard, Joe and Mary, of the Head Start program by chance? Okay, so this Head Start is similar to the Gerber plan for children and grandchildren. The biggest difference is the Head Start program knocks the Gerber plan out of the water, knocks it out in coverage and rate and options. It's the whole shebang. And most plans are only 10 to 20 bucks. And what most parents and grandparents are doing is locking in a program for their kids or their grandkids. It's going to last them a lifetime worth of benefits. It's $25,000 on each child or grandchild, and it comes with a cash value option that gives them options down the line to use for a school, a house, just something along the line that's going to need a lot of financing for. But the most important piece is this guaranteed insurability option. This is going to allow them to get up to $150,000 of additional life insurance in $25,000 increments at 6 future option dates. And this is going to be without having to prove insurability. So no matter what happens to them health-wise between the moment this gets placed on them until the moment they get covered all the way up to age 40, they're never going to have to answer another health question again. They're never going to have to go through a screening or prove that they're insurable. And they can increase it all the way up to $150,000 max benefit. How are the kids doing health-wise, by the way? They doing all right? Well, good. God bless them. That's lovely. Okay, so what they did is they obviously broke it down into 3 different tiers: gold, silver, and bronze. The gold is going to be your max out plan. If you needed this amount of coverage, you can go for it. This would most likely be for members who want to leave a lot behind for their family, or they want to get everything done at once. And that's only going to be $200 a month or $50 a week. Now, this silver is going to be the best bang for your buck, let me tell you. And it is the recommended amount of coverage for all of our members because 1, it beats inflation, and 2, it is very comfortable long term. It's going to be a low minimum stress. It's going to be able to be covered. You're going to be able to make these payments. It's going to be comfortable for the longer amount of time, which is really good for you. And this is only going to be $100 a month or $25 a week. And then lastly, our bronze, our base. This is what you want. This is what you would want to at least handle today. This would be the minimum thing that you would want to get. Of course, some members go with the bronze just simply to lock in their age, health, and their rate. And then usually they just increase it later on down the line. Does that make sense? And this is going to be $60 a month or $16 a week, $15 a week. And think about it. That's a week. That's two coffees at Starbucks. And you could be getting a whole insurance coverage plan with two coffees at Starbucks. And so Joe and Mary, uh, most to all, or about 95% of the union members, they've always started with silver because they know they need something and it's going to be the most comfortable long term. So, did you two want to go with what most of the members have been doing with the silver? Or do we want to get everything handled today and we want to go big with the gold? What do we want to do, guys? Okay, great. Love to hear that, Joe. Unfortunately, it's not really your wallet that qualifies you, it's your health. So I need to ask you some medical questions just to make sure that you qualify. And as I go through these medical questions, I want you to think to yourself, how many things can go wrong with you medically to where maybe next enrollment period you wouldn't be able to qualify at all. So after we get through these, we'll know you'll never be as healthy and as young as you are today. All right, Joe, you ready? Okay, here we go. Have you ever been treated for alcohol abuse or AA? Have you ever taken any non-over-the-counter drugs such as cocaine or hallucinogens? Have you ever had your driver's license revoked or been arrested? Have you ever been treated for high blood pressure, strokes, or heart attacks? Have you ever been treated for diabetes, paralysis, or any brain disorders? Have you ever had arthritis or joint injuries? To the best of your knowledge, do you have any physical impairment? Have you ever been treated for cancer or tumors? Have you ever been rejected for a medical/hospital insurance? Have you had a physical in the past 5 years? Can you give me your height and your weight, please? Thanks, Joe. Okay, have you ever had any medical treatment or been hospitalized? Have you ever been diagnosed with a terminal illness or Alzheimer's? Have you ever been treated for asthma, sleep apnea, or any sort of respiratory disorder? Have you ever had any ulcers or any type of digestive disorder? Have you ever received a bone marrow transplant? Any kidney, prostate, or urinary disorders? Any breast or uterus diseases? Have you ever been diagnosed with rheumatoid or any types of muscular or skeletal disorders? Have you ever had any loss of hearing or sight? Have you ever tested positive for HIV/AIDS? Did you ever smoke cigarettes or use any form of tobacco? And if so, when did you quit? Okay, and lastly, Joe, have you ever used marijuana in the past year? Okay, great. Thank you, Joe, so much. All right, okay, I'm not the underwriter, but based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like you should be able to qualify just fine. Um, yep, okay, Joe, well, the only thing I need from you is your driver's license, and we can get this ball rolling. I'm gonna share the application right now. Don't have access to it. Okay, so we are going to get you protected today, Joe, but only under one condition. You promise me if this ever becomes uncomfortable for you, please reach out to me because I can't help you if I don't hear from you. Okay, you promise that, Joe and Mary? Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so this right here is the QR checklist. It's a mandatory checklist that we go over with all the members. It explains the enrollment process. And the first thing the checklist talks about is the way the benefits are handled. Joe and Mary, this program is set up on a once a month computerized deduction through your banking system. Having it done this way actually gains you a discounted rate, which is good. This first draft is going to be $57.31 and will be within 24 to 48 hours. The ongoing draft date can be handled between the 1st and the 15th of the month. Can you tell me which date is best for you? Okay, now please, could you make a note of that now? Just that way you know, and that's not catching you off guard. Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Okay, so this application process is going to take anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks. And if you're accepted, you'll receive your policies and a congratulatory letter welcoming you to AIL. If you receive a denied, then you will receive today's deposit back, full refund. And you can write to American Income and ask why if you want to. And then if risk issued, this is if there's a health problem, the company is still going to attempt to approve you anyway. And they're going to do this by adding a special risk premium. And don't worry, you will be notified if this happens. That way it's not out of the blue. You will be in the loop. And then you may receive one or more phone calls just asking to review the questions I've asked. It is just like a survey whenever you like purchase a new car. It's only going to take 2 to 3 minutes. But they may ask for a nurse to come out and ask you some medical questions or for like either a blood or a urine sample. This is at no cost to you, and it's at your convenience. They may request medical records from your doctor as well. And if for some reason the doctor doesn't respond to our requests, they may come back to you so that you call your doctor and get those records. But just basic routine stuff that we have to have in our system pretty much. Does that make sense? I'm going to play this video for you guys just to give you a little bit more context on a few things. But we'll watch this real quick. And
at some point in everyone's life, they become uninsurable and declined for insurance. This usually happens due to age, but can be accelerated when you are younger if you have bad health or bad habits. Once you are uninsurable, you typically can't get insurance again. If you are approved, there are 3 possible outcomes. First, you could be approved, standard due to having minor or no. A few extra dollars be a problem for you.
Hi, Joe and Mary. Does that make sense? I can't imagine something like that would change your mind as to whether or not you would want to protect your family, would it? All right, guys. Awesome. We'll finish this application real quick. Okay, so Joe and Mary.
At some point in everyone's life, they become uninsurable and at some point in
Okay, so Joe and Mary, if you were to give me a rating on 1 of 5, with 5 being the best, would you guys give me a 5? Come on. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. But this is a QR code right here that will take you directly to a review page. And I would humbly appreciate it if you guys would take a quick 10 seconds to post a quick review with my name and the group you're with, just so that it helps both the group and the company know that I got you guys enrolled and that we're moving on the right track. Awesome. All right, Joe, I'm really glad that we got your family protected today. This is a really selfless and smart thing that you did. Just let me ask you, Joe, out of all the things you did today to protect your loved ones, what's going to give you the most peace of mind? Why's that? You know, that's what all of the members say. Your family is going to thank you on one of the worst days of their lives that you had the foresight to set this all up. So thank you. And guys, did I answer all your questions? Did a good job for you today. And you'd recommend me, right? All right, perfect. Joe and Mary, every time I help a family, I always ask for referrals because if I did a good job for you, my goal is to do a good job for everyone else that you know that's close to you. So who's going to be the next Joe that I can help out? You guys know anybody? If you can't think of anyone, think of people that just got married, just got divorced, maybe had their first kid or another kid, bought a home, sold a home, graduated, retired. Literally any change in life or just anyone in general that you know that's of age. But who's next? I want them. And also, Joe and Mary, if y'all didn't think I was pushy or I did a decent job, would you make sure that these people sit down with me? Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to call these people tomorrow at probably from 1 to 3 p.m. And if I can't reach them, it's most likely going to get passed along to someone else. Now, do you want it to be someone else or do you want it to be me? I mean, we had a pretty good conversation today. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give you my phone number real quick. If that's all right. My number is 214-784-8693. And Joe, I don't care if you shoot them a text or a call, but just please let them know that I'll be calling tomorrow at what time? 1 to 3. That's right. Just because remember, you see a random number, you're probably not going to answer, and I don't want to blindside anybody. So that'd be awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. And all you need to tell them is that I handled some of the benefits for you through the union and to meet with me. Sound good? Awesome. All right, Joe and Mary. Almost everyone takes advantage of this program, like you, because of the value, and the cost is so small compared to the numerous benefits that you're getting through this. And now it's very rare, but sometimes a member will cancel. It could be a week, a month, a year. Um, and we end up seeing them during their next service period. And they're typically upset because they're no further ahead than they were, and they want to reapply for the program. The problem is that now that they're older, so the program is more what? Expensive, right? And so worse yet, some people can't even get into it anymore because their health has changed. And so the point is that none of this is a short-term fix, it's a long-term solution. And the longer that you're in the program, the more it's going to have value to you. So if this amount of money is uncomfortable for you to pay right now, then please let's fix it while I'm here. Uh, how does everything feel, Joe? We feel good? Mary, we good? Great. Then please make sure to keep this important program in place for your family. And the next time I see you, you're going to be really happy you did. All right, awesome. I had a wonderful time with you guys, Joe and Mary. I really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great week. And if I see you again, I really look forward to it. All right. Thanks, guys, so much. Y'all have a good day.